They're loading rather efficiently this evening, so we'll see if we can load one more before I go to bed. Um, uh, no, I was sitting there and I was thinking about Braxton's mom. I figured about 7 because that's about the size Patrick was when he was 7, my oldest. Okay. And he could be 9, he could be 7. I'm not sure. Okay. But I was just going off of uh, the size of my oldest son. Okay. But Patrick is 6'5", and so he could be older. And then Natalie, okay, my two oldest ones. When Natalie was 7, she played at the park, and moms that were or 5. One time, Natalie was 5 and was playing with a girl. It was a little Mexican girl, and the mom thought Natalie was kind of retarded, but Natalie was helping the girl who's probably about 7. And the lady looked at her and said this. I said, no, she's just helping like she does with her little brother. And there's her house. Well, she's 5. And then the lady looks at me and looks at her and go, oh, okay. And I had the same thing with a kid in Phoenix. There was like a 4th grader walking along, and me and Patrick were walking, and Patrick was bigger than the 2 4th graders. And the kid started making fun of him because Patrick was talking and talking about his Pokemon cards, and was talking about, how stupid this kid is. And I was like, I got mad because the kid was real rude about it, and he didn't see that I was walking along and Patrick was doing his thing. And kid looks up and he says that, and he didn't know that I was Patrick's dad because Patrick is half black and I'm a white man. And the kid said that, and I looked at him and I said, "No, he's 7. He's a 2nd grader. You're just a midget." Kid kind of got mad at me, but I'm like, hey, I'm his dad. Okay. And so I was like, Earl, I've done that with people sometimes, yeah. Even with kids. Oh, yeah, yeah. That wasn't anything mean. I was just letting him know, hey, be cool. I'm just joking with you, but, come on now. You got to, before you talk, even when you're 9, you got to watch what you say, And then I just kind of laughed. I said, no, he's just big. He's a big kid. He's very big, but he's only 7 years old. The kid looked at me, he's 7? Yeah. He's got hands and feet on him, like, yeah. And as they get older, yes, it is like Will Smith says. He's a big boy. Yeah, he's a very big boy in a lot of ways, and yeah, he's a good kid. I love him very much. I have good boys. I have really good boys. They're all beautiful in their own way, and they're all equally beautiful for it to me. And my youngest is 15. His name is Cramiga Favre. But as far as I'm concerned, he's my son. Okay. I made sure he was born healthy and was able to live his life and grow and to where he could be a young man and a man. So I made sure of that. So I don't let Yorgev take credit for that. He tried to get Amy to miscarriage the baby and then tried to get her to use our tax money to abort him. So I don't let Yorgev take credit for Crumb. He's my son, not Yorgev's. Nor the sperm donor that had sex with my wife because he followed the crowd in Sierra Vista instead of follow me. So those are my 3 sons. I have my oldest is Patrick, my middle is Noah, and my youngest is Crumb. Okay, me and his mom got into it because I wanted to name him David Paul at first. Then when I got him home and started playing music for him, he liked Haudenosaunee music so much that I wanted to name him, Joseph Tyondenega Parsons. This kid must have Algonquin in him, Sego. I played music for him, and you play music for your kids, and they pick the music. You give them options and what they like and don't like, and it's cute. Yeah. No, Patrick, it's funny because his mom, when we were apart and he was older, and then she tried to talk to him about his music because he listens to like Satan and devil music, and I was like, what? So I was like, Patrick, send me some music. So your mom's upset about the music you listen to. Send me some. I want to hear it. He sent. It's like, okay. I dig this Rammstein stuff, yeah. And then I'm like, oh, okay, Disturbed. I really like this one about the one where the girl got sexually abused and commits suicide, and now he wants to die. That reminds me of a song that I used to play for your mother that reminds me of her. It's called Wildflower by Skylark. So go listen to that. And then he had Another Way to Die and all that. So I said to him, son, you'll like Kansas's Dust in the Wind and Carry On Our Wayward Son. You'll also like Zeppelin's. I told him all the songs he would like. Stairway's good, this and that. Ones I didn't play for you as a kid, right? And Jimi Hendrix, you'll like Jimi Hendrix, right? All Along the Watchtower and Hey Joe, right? And Rammstein, so he played Rammstein, Slipknot, he sent me those, I was a creature before I could stand, So I'm listening to songs going, okay, well, here's songs from my generation that you'll really dig, right? As Steffi comes back to me and goes, what? It's like, oh, no, Patrick, he likes, I'm like, Steffi, he also likes, Gypsy Kings and Otmar and Stylistics and Blue Magic, and stuff. He'll listen to that stuff. He likes it too, but this is the stuff he's into. And so you just got to listen to it and say, here is also stuff that was kind of like that in our generation that you will like too, son. She was like, Earl. I'm like, I'm just trying to help. I'm not going to tell him, don't be listening to stuff that's fucking crazy. I listen to it and say, okay, I'm not that angry, but here's stuff that was similar to my generation stuff of feeling that way. And that's how I handled it. I didn't sit there and say, you don't listen to this bullshit. You going to listen to this bullshit? Now, if Patrick has sent me, it's the world's biggest dick, don't matter, just don't buy it. I was like, I didn't teach you to teach women like that, but he wouldn't listen to stuff like that. He was listening to a song by Disturbed about a girl that committed suicide because she was sexually abused, and then the boy loved her, and he couldn't get her not to want to commit suicide, and she killed herself, and he wanted to die. And I was like, oh yeah. And if by chance I could hold her, let me hold her for a time. And if I was just given, one possession, I would pick her from the garden to be mine, right? Everybody loves that song, right? No? Damn, you should. Skylark, Flower. Go listen to it. It's good. The song by Disturbed, I don't know what the name of the song was, but it was also good. It was very disturbing. Yes, that's the name of the band. And it was very sad, but you could understand. So once you listen to that one, go listen to Skylark, Wildflower, and then you'll go, okay. I think I like the way they express it better than Disturbed, but this is the 1990s and 2000s, and this is the 1970s. And this was more culturally appropriate. Okay. We didn't talk about it. We talked about it in a way in the 70s that it was a good song. And when you look into her eyes, you'll never see the way she's always paying for a debt she never owes, and a silent wind still blows that only she can see, and so she goes. And be careful how you touch her, for she'll awaken, and sleep's the only freedom that she knows. Okay, and then when you look into her eyes, the thing is with now, okay, with Wi-Fi training, they don't have that. Okay, and so you wonder, why are these kids always so needing drugs, needing therapy? Why are they so crazy? Why are they so superficial about sex and all that stuff? Because they're being programmed. Okay, it was more difficult to program us in the 1960s or 70s. The music was still there, but we could turn it off. I could fix and correct my dreams when I was a child. I can't do that anymore. Something's changed. Do you understand? So as you go and you see these families and you see these kids, and what I told people today is meditate, okay? And as you meditate, okay, focus on good and love and right, okay? Because I'm the Messiah, and I can't get my dreams to stop being about you need money. You need money. You're going to have money. If you don't have money, you will want to die. Okay. I can't get my dreams to stop being like that. I can't get the Banker family Robinson, Freddy Krueger family out of my head. Okay? Like ELO. And I can't get it out of my head. Right? I can't stop having dreams like that. Okay? But I know I'm getting head fucked by people that it's going to drive you crazy. It's like, no. It's just stupid. It's just like having the TV on and I just can't turn it off, so I'm going to sleep while the TV's on. And that's the way I see it. And then when I'm awake, okay, I always constantly remind myself, I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. The Lord's Prayer is perfect, and I've done what I was born to do perfectly. Okay. And so that, I know how hard it is. Gosh, I know how hard it is. Okay. I understand just how hard life is. Okay. I have been abused psychologically, physiologically, and emotionally. Okay. More extensively and more insidiously than anyone ever in the history of the world because of the technology. Okay. And because I'm 59 years old and they focused on me and I'm the guy from the book of Revelation. Okay. I didn't get to have a puberty like you had. I had Gordon B. Hinckley, Ezra Taft Benson, and Gordon B. Hinckley and other people like that going over everything I did, scrutinizing everything I did, okay, because I found girls sexually attractive and wanted to, wanted to Joey Lawrence, from Blossom, and I was a pervert because my body was reacting and I really wanted my body to react with young women. Okay. And I had these guys, well, he should be better than this. Better than what? Better than a man that wants to love and be loved by a woman and then have children? I should be better than that? Don't get no better than that. If we don't love a woman and we're not loved by a woman, we cease to exist. Okay. So when you think you're watching somebody and you think he's doing it wrong, why are you in his bedroom? And what makes you think you have the right to be there? Okay, I'll work it out. Okay, you guys understand? Okay, we'll talk in the morning. I love you very much. Okay, everybody hang in there. Okay, be grateful for the life that you're given. Be happy to be you, and it's good to be alive. Okay, me and a couple had that talk. It was beautiful. They were really cute and sweet. And I sat there and I said, when I finally talked to Hawking, I talk about being good to be alive. It's like, bullshit. You think it's good to be alive. You like being condescending, abrasive, and abusive to other people that you think you are intellectually superior to. Okay? So even if you physically feel like shit because you stressed yourself to death by being part of a horrifically toxic environment because of human narcissism and competition, it's still good to be alive. Okay? Don't you ever forget that. Okay? I love you very much. All right, peace.